also have to have either a high school diploma or a GED. Um, College and all of that is not required. We do have to go through basic law enforcement training, which is about 5 months now. The basic law enforcement training basically give you the certification to certify you in order to be a law enforcement officer. But with the sheriffs in North Carolina, we have the right to hire somebody and let them be employed for 1 year before they go to basic law enforcement training. So it's basically, you can go to basic law enforcement training, but you have to be sponsored, and you just get that sponsorship from a local law enforcement agency, or either you can be hired by the agency, and then they can send you to school. So I can hire you and send you to school and pay you just like you're working, so.
That's good. What law enforcement agencies in Bertie County?
We have, well, you know, you have the Bertie County Sheriff's Office. Then we have the Windsor Police Department, which is Justin Jackson, Windsor Police. You also have Lewiston Police Department, which have part-time officers only. And then you have the Orlando Police Department, which is the chief is Jeremy Roberts, and they have some other part-time officers there also.
Well, there seem to be a lot of violent crimes recently. Why do you think this is happening?
Well, if you look across the entire United States, there has been a rise in violent crimes across the United States. If you also look at our surrounding counties that are surrounded by us, we're also experiencing, they are also experiencing some of the same things. The biggest thing is that crime is unpredictable, and it's, you know, sometimes out of our control. So the thing that we have to do as law enforcement leaders is we have to make sure that we stay in contact with the people who we serve to try to make sure that we know what's going on in our community, and we make sure that we approach those things and take care of it even when they happen.
What are current law concerns firearms?
Oh, well, something changed recently. Something changed recently with the firearm law, where it used to be where you had to come to the sheriff to get a gun permit. You no longer have to come to the sheriff. You go to the gun dealer to do that, and they will still do a federal background check. The difference is that the sheriff was able to do a more in-depth check of the person. We know the people who are doing the violent crimes and that are doing the shooting. You know, sometimes we know the people who may have a mental issue and don't need to be possessing a gun. The federal background check does not check that, but that's been the change recently within the past couple of weeks that they have changed. So you no longer have to come to the sheriff to do that. You just go to the firearm dealer. They was trying to change that with the concealed carry permit, basically where you carry your firearm concealed, but that, you know, didn't pass this time. So that's some of the changes, and that's some of the changes.
Okay. What about gangs in Bertie County?
Well, it's no secret that the gangs are here, you know, and it's no secret we know the gangs that are in this area, and we keep our eyes on them to make sure that they are not committing violent crimes in our county and stuff like that, and it's no secret that the gangs are here in Bertie County. But again, we are familiar with them, and we make sure that we keep our eyes on them to keep our community and keep our county safe.
What about the relationships between drugs and gangs?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, back in the day, a couple of years ago, we knew that gangs were more, what's the word called? Carteled, you know, around that. But now it's seeming to be more of it's not, to me, I'm not seeing more of the drugs. Now I'm seeing more of the grounds, you know, somebody trying to take over more ground, you know, and that is the reason for a lot of the gangs now. A Hosky against Murfreesboro, or, you know, Windsor against Lewiston, stuff like that, you know, not necessarily gang related, but, you know, which gangs and drugs, they're involved with each other. Gangs, guns, all of that is circled around each other. And that's the reason why we're very hard, and some of the laws are stiffening on the gangs activity, and that's because of the things that they're involved in. It's not just drugs, but it's guns, it's breaking into houses, it's shooting, it's all type of things. So, but we're, you know, again, we're familiar with who those people are, and what we do is we build a case on those. We build a case on them people. They may think that they're getting away with certain things, you know, and they may not know that we're tracking to see what they're doing. And when it come down, we'll make sure that we try to stick the, you know, stick the harshest penalty to the people who are being a nuisance to our county.
What can citizens to do to help combat violence and crime?
Sure. See something, say something is the theory that I like to use. You see something, then you need to say something. And the reason why I say that is because law enforcement is not much of anything without the community letting us know something. So one of the things that I live by is see something, say something. And a lot of times, and I'm sure you probably have seen me a lot in the community, and the reason why I'm in the community a lot is because I want to build a relationship with the citizens so that they will feel comfortable talking with me as the sheriff.
If I report something to the police, will it become public knowledge?
Well, in certain instances, it can become public knowledge in certain instances, but in a lot of instances, we try to keep, you know, the information that we receive, what's the word called, not being public. We try to keep it where the person will not be identified, you know, and one of the things that we are hoping to do very soon is create an anonymous, you know, tip line where people can call information in without giving who they are, just give tips about things that happen. And again, as I stated earlier, we need the public's assistance to help us to solve crimes. You know, we're not miracle workers, or, you know, even though we have better technology, but a lot of times the people and the citizens, if you want to see your community safe, sometimes you just got to let us know things that are going on in your community. That's what we do.
Does God play a role in your life in your position?
Yes, he does. I
Have you ever experienced like any traumatic events?
No, I honestly, to God be the glory, I have not, really seen traumatic events. Now, I have been to traumatic events such as, murders and things like that, but I've never been involved in one myself. But I've been people.
With your work first, with your career, does it affect like your mental health?
No, because I control it. I know when I need a break. I know when I need a break and stuff like that. And if I can be honest, law enforcement is a great career. Law enforcement is a great career. Um, so as long as you love what you're doing, it would not affect you as bad. I have worked in hostile situations, where it could be stressful. But again, as I explained to the host today, that God makes the difference between those things and anything that you do. As long as you got God with you, you'll be all right.
I have one more last question. What do you like about this career? Like, what made you want to do it?
Well, I think that being involved with people, this is a ministry also, so this is a ministry also, so being involved with the people, being able to help people through their daily lives and stuff like that has been amazing. And um, I'm not going to say, I know a lot of people may say they get to drive fast and stuff like that. I'm not going to say that, but I've been able to take care of my family through my job. So, and it's just a wonderful job to be able to help people.
What are some things, not only with like the law enforcement, but like as a community that we can do to like resolve like the gangs in the community?
Yes, and as I explained to the host, if you see something, say something. One of the things that I'm trying to build my foundation of the Bertie County Sheriff's Office is that we will have a relationship with the community, so that by us having that relationship, they will feel free to share things with us that's going on in the community. If you don't know who your law enforcement officers are and stuff like that, then I would understand why, people would not feel comfortable sharing things with you. But again, I try to be as active in the community as I can so that people will feel comfortable with sharing things with me, and knowing that, retaliation will not be against them. So if you see something, say something.
Thank you.
Well, thank you again, Sheriff. Well, this will be the end of the podcast. And like I said before, this is Conocanary Missionary Baptist Church, God's Chosens, Next Generations. And I am the host, Taylor Bunch, and CJ, my co-host. And now we'll be signing off. Thank you.
I hope she turned it off.